Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's Star Wars night at Chase Field. We're full of stormtroopers, Ewoks, Chewbacca's, you name it, they're here. San Francisco Giants are in as well for the third game of this four-game series. The D-backs looking toward a series split with Patrick Corbin on the mound against the veteran Jake Peavy. Star Wars night for the D-backs and Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. D-backs and Giants, third of a four-game set. Patrick Corbin on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Bob, coming off two, I think, rather encouraging starts on that last road trip.
Yeah, especially the last one against the Atlanta Braves. He was really good. 7 strong innings, only gave up 5 hits, shut the Braves down completely, and really was in total command from the pitch one until he came out after 97 pitches. There you see his numbers against the Braves on Sunday, and yeah, Diamondbacks need to turn it around here at home. You'd like to think Zach Greinke and Shelby Miller would have been the guys to do it the first 2 games of this series, but it falls upon the left-hander tonight to try to right the ship here at home.
Yeah, pretty good 2 starts ago in Miami, even better on Mother's Day in Atlanta against the Braves, and he's got a new battery mate here. Chris Herman gets the start behind the plate.
Chris Herman has turned out to be a perfect backup catcher. Everything you want in a backup catcher. He calls a good game. His catcher's ERA is just a tick over 3.5. He can throw well. He's thrown out half the attempted base stealers this year, and he gives you some pop off the bat. 4 home runs, 14 runs driven in just 53 at-bats this season. He's really done a nice job.
So a night off for Wellington Castillo. Also getting the night off, Yasmani Tomas. That means a start for Ricky Weeks Jr. in left field.
Yeah, there was some holes in the middle of that lineup the last couple of nights, and Chip Hale's kind of moving some guys around, getting some guys in the lineup, just hoping to jumpstart things. The top of the order's been doing a really nice job getting on base. Got to find a way to get him on the plate.
Still a chance to salvage a split of the 4-game series. First pitch is coming up. Patrick Corbin for the Diamondbacks and Jake Peavy for the San Francisco Giants. It's D-backs baseball from Chase Field on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Lone Butte Casino. Get in on big wins. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by Gigablast, 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow. Set to bring on the D-backs and the San Francisco Giants on Star Wars night here at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin on the mound for the Diamondbacks and the veteran Jake Peavy for the Giants. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. In place for the Arizona Diamondbacks, all buttoned up inside Chase Field. Third of a 4-game set. The Diamondbacks and Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants, who came in here 2 games over 500 at the start of play today, and looking for a season-high 4th win in a row. The lineup for the Giants here against Patrick Corbin.
Denard Span once again leading off out in center field. Joe Panik, who has been a real panic for the Diamondbacks pitching staff in this series and all season for that matter. He'll be at second base. Matt Duffy at third base. Buster Posey behind the plate. Hunter Pence out in right field. Brandon Belt at first base. Angel Pagan in left field. Kelby Tomlinson getting the start at shortstop tonight for Brandon Crawford. And veteran right-hander Jake Peavy on the mound.
For the Diamondbacks, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher is the left-hander Patrick Corbin. 1 win in his first 7 starts this year. He's pitched much better than that lately, especially his last time out when he worked 7 scoreless in Atlanta Sunday, but got a no decision.
Yeah, and some tough lefties in this Giants lineup he's going to have to deal with tonight. And so far this season, he's held lefties to a 133 batting average, the second lowest mark in the National League for starting pitching.
For the Diamondbacks, our eye on defense is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
As we mentioned before, a couple changes tonight. Ricky Weeks Jr. getting the nod in left field tonight for Yasmani Tomas. Chris Owings once again in center field. Brandon Drury doing a really nice job out in right field. It'll be Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield with Gene Segura, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Chris Herman behind the plate doing what he does, and Patrick Corbin, the left-hander, on the mound.
The crew chief, Jerry Lane, will call the balls and strikes. He's behind the plate tonight on this Star Wars night at Chase Field, a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. There's Chewbacca. They're all in here tonight. Denard Span will lead it off. He has been on base for much of this series. He's got 4 hits so far, all singles, 259 and a home run. Ball one, we're underway. Triple digits outside in downtown Phoenix. Nice and cozy, 77 degrees inside, and it's 1-1 on Denard Span, who is walking a lot more often now as the Giants leadoff man. His on-base percentage is up near .360. More walks than strikeouts this year. Corbin ahead, 1-2.
It was a good game plan for Shelby Miller last night, jumping ahead in the count, putting these Giants hitters immediately on the defensive.
Boy, he was ahead in the count all night long, threw lots of strikes, got a lot of ground ball outs, 3 double plays turned behind him. Another step forward for Shelby. Patrick outstanding against the Braves Sunday at Turner Field. 5 hits, 7 shutout innings, a walk. He struck out 5. Stuck with his second straight no decision after pitching well at Miami in his start previous to that. 2-2. Base hit. He drives it to the gap in right center. It'll reach the wall. Chris Owings has it. It rolls away from Owings. Span is going to get an extra 90 feet here. And he's in at third, standing up, his second triple. Like he thought about stopping at second, then it rolled away from CO out there.
Yeah, an unfortunate carom off the padding out there at the 4:13 mark. Denard Span just crushes this low fastball to the gap in right center field. And right near the 4:13 mark, or right at the 4:13 mark, there's some angles out there on the padding, and unfortunately that time it hit the corner of the padding and ricocheted away from CO, allowing Denard Span to end up at third.
And here is the guy who's been the big bat in this series. It's Joe Panik, the Giants second baseman, and Jerry Lane having a conversation with the Diamondback dugout right now. Chappelle up on the top step. Looks like Glenn Sherlock is on the phone with Alan Campbell, Diamondbacks video coordinator. No, it's Mark Grace. And Jerry Lane is holding things up at home plate. But now Chip has given him the signal. We're set to go. Not quite sure what they may have been looking at there. Maybe he missed a base.
I'm not sure what that was all about.
Don't look like they have an appeal play planned here. But Span at third to lead off the ball game, and here's Panik, who had the big hit last night. He's got a little flare, and it's over the glove of Ahmed. 1-0 Giants. Joe Panik at it again. And a 2-run home run Thursday. The big 3-run homer last night. Now an RBI single opens up the ball game.
No home run this time. Just a jam shot floater, barely out of the reach of Nick Ahmed out there at shortstop. Ranges to his right out into shallow left field. Makes a leaping attempt, but can't quite get there.
So 2 batters in. Patrick down 1-0. Here's the third baseman, Matt Duffy. Duffy 260. He has homered twice. A pair of hits in the series, both singles.
Well, the double play ball last night for Shelby Miller once again was a huge part of the ball game. Could use one right here, and the Giants have been doing a lot of that lately. In their last 7 games, they've grounded into 14 double plays in 49 opportunities.
Shelby got a ground ball to get out of the first, then had double plays in the second, third, and fourth. Patrick behind, 3 balls and no strikes on Matt Duffy, who is walking more often this year than he did last season and striking out less. Delayed strike call there by Jerry Lane. 3-1.
Many times it's a run situation for teams, a 3-1 count. If you trust the hitter will not chase a pitch out of the zone.
There goes Panic. That one's fouled off, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Yeah, if that 3-1 pitch is out of the zone, if you trust the hitter's judgment, he takes it for ball 4. Both runners move up 90 feet. If it's in the strike zone, it's on him to try to put it in play somewhere with that runner in motion. Conventional wisdom is if you're going to run 3-1, you're probably going to run 3-2. So Patrick with a check on the base runner Joe Panic over there at first.
You also get a head start for Duffy, who does hit into a lot of double plays. You can avoid that if you start the runner Panic here. And there he goes. Panic takes off. Duffy lifts it in the air along the right field line. Brandon Drury in fair territory has got it for the first out. Your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game. Have you and your staff come up with a Star Wars theme?
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
You know my encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars. There is no try, there is only do.
And who was it that said that in the?
I believe that was Yoda.
You are correct. There's another Chewbacca. Chewbacca's everywhere tonight. Buster Posey. 268 and 4 home runs. He was 0 for 4 last night. Single, doubled, and scored a run in Thursday's series opener. And Posey still not out of the woods with his bat right now. He's stuck in a 3 for 32 coming into the game tonight. The batting average for the year has dropped more than 60 points in his last 8 games. Reaches out and lifts it in the air to center for Chris Owings. Another fly ball out for Corbin. 2 down. Panic back to first. That'll bring up Hunter Pence. And this will be a big out for Corbin. Hunter Pence has always hit him well. Pence 10 for 21 career against Patrick, including 3 home runs. He's in there just under 290. He's homered 5 times. Strike 1. Hunter Pence has been on base 3 times in the series. He walked twice Thursday. Last night 1 for 4 with a single. There are the numbers career against Corbin. This is popped up first base side, foul ground for Goldie. Patrick Corbin strands Panic, but the RBI single has given the Giants the lead. D-backs coming up next against Jake Peavy. Field, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Giants. Veteran right-hander Jake Peavy turned 35 years old earlier this month. It's been a struggle. He is getting hit hard and often. The command has been shaky recently. A lot of bases on balls. He's lost his last 3 starts.
Yeah, 11 walks in his last 13 innings over 3 starts. It's been a rough slog for Jake Peavy this season, just trying to keep that ball down. Relies a lot on movement and changing speeds, and has made a lot of mistakes up over the heart of the plate.
Gene Segura, leading the major leagues in hits, will lead it off for the Diamondbacks, and there's ball 1. Segura, 351. He's homered 5 times. And he comes into tonight holding an 11-game hitting streak. That's 1 shy of a career high. Segura, 4 hits and an RBI in the series so far, hitting just over 380 during what is now an 11-game streak. He hit safely in 12 straight back in June of 2013.
To Duffy.
A lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks trying to win a game at home.
Gene Segura made the first out here in the bottom of the first on a hard hit ball right down to third. He's at second base. Jake Lamb at third. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Ricky Weeks Jr. cleaning up out in left field. Chris Herman behind the plate. Brandon Drury in right field. Chris Owings in center field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and Patrick Corbin, the left-hander, on the mound.
Jake Lamb in the 2-hole. A pair of hits in this series. He's at 267 on the year. Giants will shade their infield toward the right-hand side. Kelby Tomlinson, the shortstop, not directly behind the second base back, but close to it. Brandon Crawford the day off today against the lefty Corbin.
Apparently I need to correct myself. I was just paraphrasing Yoda. I wasn't exactly quoting. The correct quote, I'm being told by everybody in Grandma's basement, is do or do know, there is no try.
Grandma's basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That'll go over just as well as messing up the quote. Well, your staff, in your defense, your staff was ill prepared for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now, they should have been there to support you a little bit better. They're usually on the money, but they got a little distracted. The excitement of having Chewbacca here. How about Jake Lamb? I think he looks like Carol Burnett right there, doesn't he?
A little early Bieber.
Yeah. Well, Peavy has had trouble with bases on balls. A 1-out walk to Lamb will bring up Goldie Juan Kenobi, as he's known here tonight.
First base, number 44.
Paul Goldschmidt, 225 and 7 home runs. He has had a tough series, 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. He's also hit into a double play. Nice hair.
Yeah, very nice.
Chip Hale was saying the other night Goldie is the Diamondbacks guy in the middle that they depend on. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Other guys have to pick him up. But Goldie having trouble getting the Pistons to fire in this series so far. That's in the seats and out of play.
Little different approach against this Jake Peavy as opposed to the Jake Peavy earlier in his career, who was winning Cy Young awards and throwing near no hitters. He doesn't throw hard at all at this point. He'll occasionally touch 90, maybe 91 on a good day. A lot of movement, heavy sinker, throws a lot of cutters, throws breaking balls, change ups. He's just reaching into his bag of tricks out there at this point, trying to find something he can fool hitters with.
It's been a battle just to get through 5. Lamb takes off. Goldie a little tapper back to the mound. Peavy has it. And he throws him out. They move Lamb up. Take a look at the Giants defensively, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Well, we'll feature the other 8, but that was a pretty nice defensive play right there by the pitcher. Angel Pagan out in left field, Denard Span in center field, Hunter Pence out in right, dealing with a little bit of sun coming through some openings up at the top of the stadium right now. Matt Duffy at third. Brandon Crawford is not at shortstop tonight. Instead, that is Kelby Tomlinson. Joe Panik at second base, Brandon Belt at first, and Buster Posey behind the plate.
A night off for Yasmani Tomas, so Ricky Weeks Jr. gets the start in left field, batting cleanup and hitting .233. His 4th start this year in left field. Jake Lamb at second, 2 outs. That is in there for a strike, 0-1. Chip Hale has been consistent in saying that if Ricky Weeks Jr. is going to be an effective pinch hitter, well, then he needs to get a start once a week, every 10 days or so. He can get 3 or 4 at bats in a given day and stay sharp. So he's out there tonight. Diamondbacks faced Jake Peavy last month at AT&T Park. He allowed 4 runs, 7 hits. He went 5 innings and has gone 1-3 in his 4 starts since then. And it's getting fair to wonder if that spot in their rotation is in jeopardy, especially with the Giants looking at Tim Lincecum in his recent throwing showcase. Giants at least publicly have said their interest in Lincecum would be as a long man in the bullpen. But Lincecum says he is fighting to get back to starting pitching, and the Giants might need somebody at the back end of their rotation. Matt Cain has shown some glimpses of hope, but it's been a slog for Peavy.
And the Giants recently called up Clayton Blackburn, a right-handed pitcher from their AAA affiliate in Sacramento, who was a starting pitcher down at the AAA level. He's a guy that could possibly slide into that rotation if necessary.
They've had Chris Heston as well the last couple of years, but he has not had a good start to the season, so they're looking for some answers. Top 3 have been pretty good, though.
Yeah.
3-1 on Ricky Weeks Jr. Look out. That extra netting that the Diamondbacks a couple of years ago extended all the way across from dugout to dugout kept that one out of the stands. It's a full count on Weeks 3 and 2.
Chris Herman in that on deck circle watches it sail right over his head off that protective netting, and then serves as the alternate bat boy to run the bat back out to Ricky Weeks.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jake Lamb at second. Got him. Peavy strands the 1-out walk. Giants lead it 1-0. If you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and Diamondbacks baseball with you wherever you go. As we go to the second inning, D-backs trail the Giants 1-0. Sand people are out in full force. They walk in single file to hide their numbers. Brandon Belt leads off the second against Patrick Corbin. Here's a roller. That's a foul ball, but it's 0-1 on Belt. Brandon Belt, 306. He's homered 4 times. He's been on base 3 times in the series. Singled Thursday, walked twice last night. This is in the air, deep right center field. Brandon Drury in front of the warning track has it for the first outs. 4 in a row set down by Patrick Corbin. And that's all fly ball outs for Patrick. Angel Pagan now. A little different look to the lineup for Bruce Bochy here tonight. No Brandon Crawford against the lefty Corbin, so Pagan slides up to 7th in the order. Kelby Tomlinson, the shortstop, is on deck. Pitcher batting 9th. Pagan came back last night after sitting out 11 games. He'd been out since May the 1st with a left hamstring strain. Walked, singled, and scored a run last night. This is driven high in the air, but very playable for Ricky Weeks Jr. out there in left. And that's another fly ball out for Patrick, 5 in a row.
Hey fans, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Kelby Tomlinson, the shortstop. He has started games this year at second base, shortstop, third base. His 3rd start this season at short. He's in there at 319. Gene Segura still got time. Throw pulls Goldie off the bag, and Tomlinson's aboard. But what a play by Gene just to get to that ball.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't stay in the glove when he made that diving stop. It kind of trickled away far enough that he had to crawl after it and grab it with his bare hands, spin around, and unfortunately that throw pulls Goldie off the bag. Tomlinson runs extremely well. That was going to be an amazing play if they got him at first base.
So the Giants will at least clear the pitcher spot as Peavy comes up, batting 9th. Got a good look on that last shot of the caps the Diamondbacks are wearing on this Saturday night. A black alternate jersey and that black gradient A cap with the red coloring that kind of fades from the top. Part of the new look, the evolution. Two 2-0 on Peavy. There's a look at Patrick's cap. Available in the team shop here at Chase Field. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1. Diamondbacks trying to change the mojo. 5-13 here at Chase Field this year. 2 more against the Giants. Yankees are in for 3 starting Monday. This is hit out to Ricky Weeks Jr. Got a late break on it, but he comes in. Another fly ball out for Corbin, who trails at 1-0.
2-0 lead as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Some different faces, some different names in the middle of this Diamondbacks order. You see what the various spots in the order have done in this series against the Giants. The guys at the top have been getting on base a ton. Unfortunately, the 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters have had a hard time driving him in, and then the bottom of the order has been doing some damage as well. So with that in mind, Ricky Weeks Jr. hitting the 4 spot today. Chris Herman, Brandon Drury, Chris Owings, the next 3 hitters. Just try to shake up the mojo a little bit, get guys in different spots in the order and see how they respond.
Herman up to 250 with 4 homers. He struck out as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning Thursday in the opener here, but he has been red hot. It's tough to win when your star players are not performing up to expectations or they're injured, and that has been the case so far for the D-backs in 2016. That's a foul ball. Rapid Robert Balderrama, the Golden Glover down the right field line, was in perfect position that time. There's Rapid Robert. Alan Bam Bam Bayham ready to go in left field. There's a shot of Bam Bam. 1-2 on Chris Herman.
Yeah, Jake Peavy, one of the more intense pitchers in the game, always has been. Very hard on himself. He'll bark, he'll scream, he'll turn his back to the crowd and cuss himself out there on the mound.
You like that or not?
Well, it wears a little thin when you're in the other dugout, but you know, that's the way he's always been. There's nothing fake about it. There's nothing choreographed about it. He's just a very emotional guy, and he wears those emotions on his sleeve.
He's been upset more often than not this year. He's gone full on Herman, 3-2. Bases on balls have been a big problem for Jake Peavy as of late. Peavy has gotten past the 5th inning only twice in 7 starts all year. It's gotten pretty ugly his last 3 times out. At the end of last month at Citi Field against the Mets, he lasted only 2 innings. He walked 5 in that game and failed to retire a batter in the 3rd. Had 8 strikeouts in his next start at Cincinnati, but gave up 4 home runs. There's another foul ball. His previous start was at home on Monday against the Blue Jays, and he walked 5 batters in 5 innings that time. So he's walked 5 in 2 of his last 3 starts. Pitch number 9 to Herman to lead off the bottom of the 2nd on the way. Missed inside. There's another base on balls. The 2nd walk for Peavy. Leadoff man aboard. Could have gone either way.
As I mentioned before, relies so much on movement at this stage of his career. Tries to nibble at those corners, start that sinker a little bit off the corner and tail it back. Same thing with the cutter. Started just inside the corner and cut it out of the zone. Really tries to prevent anything in the middle of the plate.
Brandon Drury batting 6th and starting in right field. Takes strike 1. 298 and 6 homers for Brandon. 3 singles and a walk in the series so far.
We saw the Giants really attacking Brandon Drury inside last night, which is highly unusual based on what we've seen from Brandon Drury this year. He's turned around everybody's fastball, but Jeff Samardzija had a lot of sinking, tailing action on that mid-90s heater he was throwing Brandon Drury down and in last night. Got the opposite field base hit in his first at bat, and then they just hammered him in on the hands the rest of the night.
Couple of ground balls, once for a double play, popped up in the 8th inning. A ball and a strike.
doubt if you'll see Jake Peavy challenge him in there too much.
Roll to Duffy, bobbles it at third. Long throw, and Drury's aboard.
And that's why I wouldn't expect Jake Peavy to challenge him inside. Jeff Samardzija was throwing 95 with that sinker on the inside border. Jake Peavy's throwing 85. That time Drury hit it hard right at Duffy down there at third base and just couldn't handle it.
E5. First and second, nobody out for Chris Owings, who's been about the Diamondbacks' hottest hitter right now. CO has had it rolling. 287, he's knocked in 11. He has hit safely in 6 straight games and 7 of his last 8, batting nearly 380 during that stretch. Strike one. Chris had 3 hits last night, had an RBI triple in the series opener. Diamondbacks had their chances early in the ball game against Jeff Samardzija last night. 2-1 in the first, couldn't score. 2-1 in the second, couldn't score. And after that, Samardzija settled in, retired 7 straight at one point. Gave up just the 1 run in the 5th after Miller doubled. And that was pretty much it. So you go back to those opportunities in the first and second where the Diamondbacks could not get a run across. It really came back to bite them. Threatening here, down 1-0.
If you had to pick a D-backs hitter right now to be up at the plate with runners in scoring position, it would be Chris Owings. He's 4 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position.
Down 0-2. To what do you attribute CO's recent run here? 6 straight, 7 of 8 with base hits.
He's hitting pitches he should be hitting. You know, it seems like when CO gets a little out of sorts, he'll foul off very hittable pitches in the middle of the zone or up and out over the plate, which is usually his strength. That's where he hits the ball well. When he's in a little bit of a funk, he fouls those pitches off. When he's swinging the bat well, he drives them somewhere.
It's a tie ball game. An RBI double for Chris Owings. That's his 6th. He's hit in 7 straight.
And a breaking ball up there that time. 77 miles an hour on the inside corner of the plate, and Chris Owings does what you're supposed to do with hanging breaking balls. Just rips it down that third base line for an RBI double.
D-backs working on a big inning here. The first 3 have reached. A run is in. Drury at third. Owings at second. Nobody out for Nick Ahmed. Nick hitting 180. He's homered 3 times. Had a single last night. Brandon Belt creeping in a bit from first base. Duffy even with a bag at third. Nick has hit safely in 3 of his last 4 games.
And Nick's had a real hard time lately laying off that pitch up and in, even off the plate up and in. Swung at a couple of them last night, got himself out, chased one right there.
Herman walked after a long at bat to lead off the inning. Drury reached when Duffy bobbled a grounder at third. Owings has doubled, and now it's a 1-1 count on Ahmed. Ball 2. This is a spot in which Peavy has found himself most of this year. He says he's got to get better, got to put his head down, got to work and grind. That's all he knows how to do, he says. He's grinding here. Lays off the 2-1. It's in there for a strike. Jerry Lane is in no hurry at all to signal ball or strike. He'll get to it eventually. 2-2.
And many times when an umpire has a very slow mechanic like Jerry Lane does, they'll let the hitter and the catcher know immediately verbally, yeah, that's a good pitch, and then they'll go through their thing.
That's apparently what's happening here. 2-2. He strikes out Ahmed. Second strikeout for Peavy. And that's the first out in the second.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Well, Patrick Corbin lately has looked a little hitterish, to use a Bob Brenly term. Peavy at 40 pitches, only 22 strikes. A chance for Corbin, who's hitting just under 300 on the year. 5 for 17. Belt in on the grass at first.
The Giants aren't totally convinced that Patrick's going to swing the bat. Belt way in on the grass. Duffy creeping in from third.
And there for a strike. 0-1.
You know I'm a big fan of that safety squeeze play, but I don't think this is the right combination of players. Brandon Drury, not the fastest base runner down there at third. You got a left-handed hitter at the plate. Catcher has a real good look at that runner coming down the line at third. Jake Peavy, being a right-handed pitcher, looking right at the runner at third. And there it is anyway.
0-2. So you want a guy with good speed at third. Preferably you'd have a right-hand hitter up there.
That seems to work the best, yeah. A right-handed hitter can push that bunt to the right side, or at least just get it down on the ground. That's one thing about a safety squeeze. It doesn't have to be a perfect bunt. It just has to be on the ground, and then it's up to the runner at third base to read the bunt. Can I make it home on that play, or should I hold my ground and let them take the out at first?
Which is why it's not called a suicide squeeze, right? 0-2. Where's the bunt? Peavy catches it on the fly, and everybody stays put.
And one more reason is Jake Peavy's a real good fielder out there. He has to be. He's had a lot of balls hit back his direction this year. Comes right down the lane to catch that pop up in the air. You can see Brandon Drury at the top of the screen there, just kind of holding his ground. Had to see that on the ground before you make any kind of a commitment as a runner, and that time he held his ground and went back to third.
A 2-out single would be a big game changer for the Diamondbacks right now. Second and third for Segura, who grounded out his first time up, leading the major leagues in hits. Drury at third, Owings at second. 2 outs. Two and 0.
That's a good take right there by Gene Segura. That's a tailing fastball. It looks so tempting on that inside corner of the plate, but by the time it's done moving, it's well off the plate inside. You jam, break your bat, hit an easy ground ball to the left side. Good take.
2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1. Gene has reached base safely in 20 straight games. That's a career high. 4 hits and an RBI in the series so far. Off Peavy. Right to belt like a pool shot. It almost rolled away, but instead it went right to the first baseman. But the Diamondbacks pull even. Chris Owings, the hottest hitter in the lineup right now, smacks an RBI double, and it's 1-1. Third, Giants second baseman Joe Panik responsible for their last 6 runs. Thursday, the 2-run homer. Last night, the 3-run homer off Shelby Miller. And he's got an RBI single tonight. He's driven in their first and only run to this point. So he has knocked in their last 6. And he is feasting on D-backs pitching this year.
You see what he's done against the rest of the major leagues. I don't know why, but he has really squared up the Diamondbacks pitching this season.
Denard Span, who tripled to lead off the ball game, leads off the third. He scored on the Panik RBI single. Span already with 5 hits in the series.
Yeah, he's another guy that's been a thorn in the side. His last 10 games against the D-backs, he's hitting over 400. He scored 9 runs in those 10 games, make it 10 runs now. And 7 of those 10 games have been multi-hit games.
Former Minnesota Twin and Washington National. Brought into San Francisco in January. They spent some money this winter, that's for sure. They gave Cueto $130 million. They gave Samardzija $90 million. They gave Span a 3-year, $31 million deal. They opened up the checkbooks. And something of a cold war this winter in the National League West. Diamondbacks spent a ton of money. Dodgers got Maeda. Span drives this to Drury. Another base hit for Span. He's 2 for 2. So that's 6 hits in the series for the Giants leadoff man.
Yeah, watch Brandon Drury at the tail end of this play. He starts to come in like he might have a chance to make a catch, and then you can see him duck down right there. The ball apparently got up in the lights on the third base side of the field. He tried to get down low so that the ball would emerge from those lights, but just dropped in front for a base hit anyway.
Here is Panik. He came into the game tonight a .388 career hitter at Chase Field. 15 games in this ballpark, 12 of them starts, 8 extra base hits and 9 RBIs. First round pick out of St. John's 5 years ago by the Giants. Here's a roller to shortstop. Ahmed's over there. Segura's got to turn it. And there's the double play ball for Patrick Corbin. The big weapon for Shelby Miller last night. Quickly 2 down in the third. It was not an easy one. Nick was moving away from the second base back to go get that one.
There's not many double play combos in the game that would be able to turn this hard ground ball into 2 outs, but Nick got rid of it so quickly to Gene Segura, and we've talked all the time about Gene's shortstop arm at second base, and when he needs to, he can really air it out to Goldie at first base.
2 down for Duffy, who flied out his first time.
I'll tell you where else that shortstop's arm really shows up is on some of the shifts when Gene finds himself way out there in shallow right field, has to make that long throw to first base. That's when you really see him get on top of that ball and fire it.
It's hard to imagine that acquisition working out any better than it has. He has been brilliant defensively. No player in baseball has more base hits. Playing like the all-star he was in Milwaukee a few years ago. This is popped up first base side. Goldie and Herman giving it a look near the Giant dugout, and Herman is over the railing. The way things are going for Chris lately, he will run through walls for you. There's no stopping him.
Oh, just out of his reach. What an effort. What a save by Goldie that time. Looked like Chris Herman was about to do a headstand down into the pit there. Goldie grabs his legs, pulls him back onto the field of play. Nice try.
A couple of Texans getting together for that one. 2-1 on Matt Duffy now. Coming into your living room, Chris Herman, the Babe. Goldie's got him. Waves at that slider, and Patrick Corbin gets his first strikeout. So a double play ball and a strikeout in the third for Patrick. We're tied at 1 at Chase Field.
Geico, this day in Star Wars history. On May 14th, 1944, Star Wars creator George Lucas was born in Modesto, California. Used to be an affiliate of the Oakland A's in the California League. Not sure who they're with now. But if it wasn't for George Lucas, we wouldn't be here.
Well, we would. We just wouldn't be doing Star Wars. Modesto Nuts. There's your boy Yoda. Modesto Nuts are the team in the Cal League right now. They're, I believe, a Giants affiliate, actually. Coincidence, not irony. Jake Lamb walked his first time up. Peavy. Tomlinson behind the bag at second. And he throws him out. That's the first out here in the bottom of the third. Hey, D-backs fans, the Diamondbacks will welcome the New York Yankees back to Chase Field. First time since 2010. The Bronx Bombers will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. First pitch for all three games is 6:40. Get your tickets right now at dbacks.com. Yankees and Diamondbacks. Yankees beat the White Sox today in the Bronx, 2-1 the final score there. Goldie drives this to Span in center, coming in quickly, 2 outs. Five in a row set down by Peavy. Here's Ricky Weeks, who struck out his first time up. Middle of the order. It's been slumping, Bob, as you talked about. Got to get these bats going in the middle of the lineup. Segura's been doing his thing up top. Chris Owings hot at the bottom.
As a player, you know there's going to be hot streaks and cold streaks over the course of a season. As a manager and a staff, you know that's going to happen. You just hope that when it does happen, that the guys that are hot are able to pick up the guys that are cold in the lineup, and you can somehow ham and egg it and mix in a walk here or there, maybe an opponent's error, and then come up with that big base hit when you need it the most. Unfortunately, the top of the order and the bottom of the order have been getting on base a lot, but the guys in the middle that are counted on to drive them in just haven't been able to get it done.
Goldie scuffling right now. Peralta out with that wrist soreness. 1-1. Been sporadic pockets of help from different spots. First series of the year here against the Rockies and then the Cubs. Nick Ahmed had a bunch of big hits. Then we went to San Francisco and Jake Lamb went on a tear in the 4-game series there. Wellington Castillo has had big series. Chris Herman big in Atlanta. Guys have chipped in. Brandon Drury went on his big run. But the key players, the heads of state as it were, struggling to get out of the gate here in 2016. And of course they sure missed that guy.
No kidding.
And you know he misses being out there. 2-2 on Ricky Weeks Jr. Called strike 3. Jerry Lane rings him up. Third strikeout for Peavy, who has now set down 6 in a row. We are through 3. It's a 1-1 ball game. The D-backs and the Giants. Up here at Chase Field as we start the 4th inning. D-backs and Giants tied at 1. Patrick Corbin out there. He'll work to Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt, 4, 5, and 6 in the San Francisco fourth. So far, Patrick has given up a run on 4 hits. He's got 1 strikeout. A lot of fly ball outs for Patrick so far. Does have 1 double play turn behind him. And he has 1 strikeout. Posey flying out his first time up. He is 3 for his last 33 up there, and he takes strike 1. Buster hitting far fewer line drives and fly balls than ever before this year. That's been part of the skid he's been in. Hitting the ball on the ground a lot more often than he ever has. Trying to get it going. Batting average has been in a free fall the last 10 days or so. Panels will stay closed here. Roof is now all the way opened up. Triple digits outside in downtown Phoenix this afternoon.
Been a couple long fly balls hitting this game already. Buster Posey back in that first inning flied out to deep center field. Brandon Belt to deep right field leading off the second inning. A couple of balls that maybe would have carried a little farther with the roof open.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Diamondbacks in the meantime trying to get their game going against Jake Peavy, who has retired 6 straight. The D-backs have only 1 base hit so far. That was Chris Owings' RBI double in the second. Peavy has walked 2 and struck out 3. Missed inside there, and it's 2-2. Good crowd here tonight. A Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. Chase Field. A little looper that's going to drop in there for a leadoff single. 5th hit for the Giants. Posey's aboard.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Right field, Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence popped up to first his first time up. Always a threat in this ballpark, and with very good career numbers against Patrick Corbin. Pence at Chase Field, 44 games here in his career. He's got 10 home runs, 31 RBIs. A lifetime .315 hitter in this ballpark. Hits this out to left field. Ricky Weeks Jr. We'll watch it go. It hops over. Hunter Pence, his 6th home run. And it's 3-1 Giants. Well, you said it. You open up the roof, it might carry. That one got just enough on it to skip over the fence.
Yeah, it sure didn't look like a home run swing. It looked like Pence was fooled badly. I mean, his swing can look awkward at times anyway, but he got fooled by this pitch. Went down basically a one-hand swing and just flipped it out there off the top of the fence. It even looked like he hit it out near the end of the bat a little bit.
Let's see where this hits.
Sounded like it hit right on top of the yellow stripe and then on out.
Just a little thud. That's Pence's 4th career home run against Patrick Corbin. So a single and a homer make it 3-1 San Francisco. Here's Brandon Belt. Well, you know, a home run's a home run, but that's about as cheap as they come. Right. No offense, but
it won't say that on his stat sheet at the end of the season. It'll just say a home run.
Exactly. They all look good on the back of the baseball card.
Buster Posey's base hit to left field was a swing that appeared he was fooled on the pitch as well.
Well, that's what good hitters do. Under the glove of Ahmed. Belt rolls that into left center. 3 straight hits against Corbin open up the Giant 4th. Brandon Belt has now reached base safely in 22 straight games. His career high is 24 set last year. Angel Pagan now. Pagan flied out his first time up. Up and in. 1-0 on Pagan, the switch hitter, batting from the right-hand side.
Nothing wrong with that. A cheap base hit and a cheap home run on awkward looking swings when guys were fooled on pitches out over the plate. Just make sure they're not leaning out there.
Coming in again here. Oh, what a stop by Jake Lamb. Even the outs are being hit hard here.
Pagan really having a good year from the right side of the plate. Historically, he's been a higher average hitter from the right side. Scalded that ball down to Jake Lamb. That's why they call it a reactive position down there at third. You don't have a lot of time to think about what you're doing. Just react.
Yeah, Pagan hitting over 360 as a right-hand hitter this year. Kelby Tomlinson singled his first time up. And they're at shortstop. Brandon Crawford not starting against the lefty, and there's strike one. Tomlinson playing sporadically, but he's been effective lately. He's hit safely now in 7 straight games in which he's had a plate appearance. That's a career high. Fights that one off, knocks it out toward Drury to right. Threw down. Here's the pitcher, Jake Peavy.
Showed you Jake Peavy's intensity out on the mound earlier in the ball game. He carries that same intensity into the batter's box, into a checkers game. It doesn't really matter. This guy doesn't do anything half-heartedly.
Pride of Mobile, Alabama, a 15th round pick by the Padres back in the 1999 draft. Oh, and 2. Called strike 3. But Hunter Pence goes yard, his 6th. Diamondbacks have been out hit 7-1. They trail it 3-1. Way outside the ballpark, Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, where the D-backs trail the Giants 3-1. Still only one hit against the veteran Jake Peavy, who's retired the last 6 D-backs he has faced. And it'll be Chris Herman, Brandon Drury, and Chris Owings due up in the Arizona 4th. Peavy has really been scuffling this year, but off to a good start so far tonight. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, just the 1 hit allowed. That was the Chris Owings RBI double back in the 2nd. And Herman leads it off. He walked and scored, came in on Co's double. First pitch swinging, lifts it in the air, left center field. Span drifting over near PAGAN, calling for it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Brandon Drury reached on an error by third baseman Matt Duffy his first time up. Jake Peavy just turned 35 years old, or he will turn 35 years old, pardon me, coming up later this month. Younger Jake Peavy was an all-star and a true ace Cy Young winner back in '07. Won the ERA and the strikeout titles that year. Won 19 games, worked over 220 innings. Still his career high. A very good pitcher for a long time in the major leagues. Third over the glove of Duffy. Well, Brandon hit one down there before that Duffy kick for an E5. That one was a rocket right by him. 2nd hit for the Diamondbacks.
Keep hitting them hard and hope they find holes. Duffy's been challenged down there in the first 3 games of this series. At least a couple or 3 times every game there's a rocket hit down his direction. That time he couldn't handle it.
Snaps a stretch of 7 straight retired by Peavy. And here's Chris Owings, whose RBI double has driven home the Diamondbacks' only run so far. Chris has now hit safely in 7 straight. Coming off a 3-hit night last night. Duffy again, the backhander. They get 1. Theo beats it out. Diamondbacks have been up there swinging very early in the count against Jake Peavy tonight.
Which I've really never had an issue with guys swinging at the first pitch as long as it's what you're looking for. You're looking middle in and you get a pitch middle in, go ahead and put a good swing on it. The problem is when you're looking middle in, you get a slider in the dirt low and away and swing at it anyway.
Nick struck out his first time. Nick had a single last night. He's hit safely in 3 of his last 4 games.
Thinking about a possible steal attempt here, trailing by a couple of runs. Chris Owings certainly has the speed to steal a base. Buster Posey's given up 8 steals on the season. He's thrown out 8.
Ahmed ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. The pitcher Corbin on deck. There goes Owings. Pitches a strike, and Buster sort of lost the handle on the baseball. So CO is in there, a perfect 6 for 6 in his stolen base attempts this year.
That's what speed will do. Believe me, I know firsthand experience. When you've got a fast runner at first base, you feel like you've got to speed up everything to get that ball down to second base as quickly as possible. And that time Buster just couldn't find the handle.
So Owings at second, 2 outs, a 2-1 count on Nick Ahmed. Three and 1. At first base open now, the pitcher on deck.
You know, occasionally pitchers have trouble seeing the catcher signs, and Buster's done everything he can to make it a little easier for Jake Peavy. With the highlighter yellow nail polish, he's got the white out down the backs of his fingers.
In there for a strike, full count, 3-2. It's like a Navy signalman back there.
I thought it had something to do with Star Wars night. I wasn't sure.
It does kind of fit, though, the whole theme for tonight. Two outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Coming to the radio booth, and it's in there. Oh, it almost got Candiotti.
In and out.
Mike Farron cowering under the desk there. The governor still as a statue. Yeah, he's a veteran.
He's always calm, cool, and collected over there.
Had missed Candy by about 6 inches. So we'll do it again on 3-2. Got him. They strand the runner at second. We are through 4. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-1. Field, D-backs trail the Giants 3-1. Fans, spend your Memorial Day weekend here at the ballpark with us. Saturday, May 28th, you'll get the D-backs mesh pool bag, courtesy of Mattamy Homes. And on Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th, you can pick up the D-backs barbecue apron, being modeled here by the lovely Vanessa and the lovely Mike. That's courtesy of IHOP. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. We felt the need to bring in some professionals here because these are hot items and we need to class up the joint.
Bring in the heavy hitters. Absolutely.
Vanessa's here with the Big Game Bauer. This is the pool bag. Holds a lot of stuff. Vanessa has the apron. Mike has his hat on, and the Star Wars. You're both wearing the Star Wars as soft style T-shirts. Yeah, that holds a lot of stuff. Thanks, you guys. That was awesome. Our staff brought in Mike and Vanessa to help out with the giveaway items promo, so we want to thank those guys for coming up all the way up here.
I think that could have been more of a byproduct of a Dennis Lamb revolt.
Well, the ratings for the Dennis Lamb show have been sinking a bit. Denard Span leads off the 5th. He has tripled, singled, scored a run. Span 2 for 2. Patrick Corbin down 3-1. He's given up 7 hits, 2 strikeouts. He's yet to walk a batter. Hunter Pence's 2-run homer in the 4th, the big difference in the ball game so far. Your staff went to a lot of trouble to arrange that.
Well, they are the pros. I mean, they do such a great job down on the field before and during the game, firing up the fans and throwing T-shirts in the stands and having the hot dog races and all the good stuff they do here at the ballpark. It's only appropriate we include them in our telecast from time to time.
I think it's great. He did not go. Trick Gibson down there at third. A full count on Span, 3-2. And Dennis has other responsibilities. He can't always appear. I mean, Johnny used to have guest hosts all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Rickles would fill in, somebody like that. Segura. Boy, Span 3 for 3. Another close one for Gene. It rolled away and into right. But Denard Span has got 7 hits in the series so far.
Boy, and everything he lays wood on finds a hole. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's hit some balls right on the button in this series, but everything just out of the reach of a Diamondbacks defender.
And here's Panic, who has an RBI single and hit into a double play. I'm told that Dennis Lamb, star of the Dennis Lamb show, is out as per your request, looking for Chewbacca.
Really?
Now you have requested a photo with the Chewbacca because that's Gemma's favorite Star Wars character. Your granddaughter.
My granddaughter Gemma is a big Chewbacca fan. She has no idea from Star Wars or anything. She just has a stuffed Chewbacca at home and thought it'd be a nice touch if I could get a picture taken with the Chewbacca.
So Dennis Lamb is out there in search of a Chewbacca. There's the miniature version. You never know what assignment you're going to draw when you're up here in the booth. Goldie, 3-6-3. Goldie Juan Kenobi. Nobody's better at that. That's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game. Goldie, as always, kept his cool there.
I'm telling you, I talk about it all the time. Not an easy play for a right-handed throwing first baseman, but Goldie does it better than anybody in the game. Ball hit just about a half a step to his right, leading him right into that throw to Nick. Easy 3-6-3.
Second double play turned by the Diamondback infield behind Patrick Corbin. 2 outs, nobody on for Duffy, who was 0 for 2. Dennis does know how to find his way back here. That's my concern. Doesn't he?
He leaves breadcrumbs on the way out. Yeah, he should be able to find his way back.
He may be wandering around, lost. Have to send out a search party. Corbin behind, 3 balls and a strike on Duffy with Posey on deck. And he lost him. A 2-out walk. First walk issued by Patrick Corbin tonight. Posey singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
As you can see, everybody around baseball wearing the play ball insignia on their uniforms. We've got them on our collar up here in the booth. Every time I see that, though, it looks like a name tag. Hi, I'm Buster.
Not be a bad idea. Diamondbacks were out early this morning at a Little League field in the Valley. They had a Little League takeover. Chuck Drago, the voice of Chase Field, did the PA for the game. Randall Delgado coached one team and Jake Barrett coached another team. Baxter was out there. Bobby Freeman, the whole crew. Spent the morning at a Little League game, trying to encourage youngsters to play ball. This is out to Ricky Weeks Jr. Diamondbacks need to get it going. They have been out hit 8-2. They trail it 3-1.
Diamondbacks baseball. I'm JR Cardinals. Bottom of the 5th. The Giants are up 3-1. Tomorrow, the D-backs wrap up the series against the Giants at 1 p.m. with coverage in Spanish on Fox Sports Arizona Plus, presented by Your Valley Honda dealers, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. To find channel listings and the complete 25-game schedule, visit foxsportsarizona.com. Gentlemen.
Thank you, JR. Patrick Corbin leads off the Diamondback 5th against Jake Peavy, who has been very effective so far. 70 pitches, 43 strikes. Peavy a run on 2 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. Patrick can't hold up, and he's down 0-2. Peavy came into the ball game 1-4 in 7 starts. The ERA right at 8.5. But he's pitched a whole lot better than that here tonight.
It was the same spot in the lineup last night in the 5th inning when Shelby Miller hit his triple.
This is a slow roller to Panic. No way. Brings up Gene Segura. Segura trying to keep his 11-game hitting streak going. So far, he has twice grounded out 0 for 2. If he can make it 12 in a row, that would tie a career high set about 3 years ago. This one out to Hunter Pence. 2 down. Hey fans, school is officially out.
Yes.
For summer students, that means you can take advantage of ticket discounts all season long with a D-backs student pass. Just text student to 76925. That's student to 76925. Or log on to dbacks.com/student. 2 down for Jake Lamb. Jake has walked and grounded out 0 for 1. They don't really shift for Jake Lamb the way we've seen so many teams do lately. They shade a bit, but the Giants fairly conservative with their defensive approach on Lamb. Not nearly as drastic as we've seen against Jake, who's been pulling the ball a lot more this year.
Sometimes you can glean a little bit from the way a team lines up defensively for how they're going to attack you as a hitter. I think for Jake Peavy, he needs to have both sides of the plate up and down. He needs to work all around the edges of that strike zone, and an exaggerated pull shift takes away some of those sinkers away from a left-handed hitter.
2-1. And Jake has been good about going the other way when he gets something on the outer half, knocks it out to left center. That's where they set up here. Left it up and in and missed. No, he got the strike. 2-2. It's like Jerry Lane's reading a magazine back there. Let me think about it. All right, that's a strike. Back up the middle, it skips off the mound, but right to Tomlinson, and they had him positioned perfectly. A 1-2-3 inning for Peavy, who is rolling along here with a 3-1 lead. Uh-oh, this could get ugly. Oh, no, it's just a photo op, that's all. Looks like Han Solo's been hitting the buffet a little bit. Patrick Corbin You know, going against these numbers here, Bob, the Diamondbacks starting pitchers have struggled here at home, but Patrick's for the most part done well. He's kept him to 3 runs through 5 innings. He just can't get any offensive support.
A little bit of a wind-blown home run off the bat of Hunter Pence to account for 2 of those Giants runs. And you can't get it all back in one start. Everybody just needs to be a little better than they were the time before in order to turn those numbers around here at Chase Field.
Hunter Pence hit a home run his last time up that skipped off the yellow part of the top of the wall in left field. Long throw for Lamb. Boy, has he got an arm. They retire Pence to open up the 6th.
I haven't been able to say that often. Hunter Pence against Patrick Corbin, 11 for 24 now in his career. 8 of the 11 hits have gone for extra bases. 4 homers, 3 doubles, and a triple.
Brandon Belt 1 for 2, a single his last time up. Diamondbacks have been out hit 8-2. They trail it 3-1. Two and 1.
We talked about Brandon Belt and where he sets up in that left-handed batter's box, how close to that inside corner of the plate. His upper body's out in the strike zone as he swings. Does the same thing against the lefty. There's Patrick Corbin hanging right in there.
His increased patience at the plate. He's doubled his walk rate this year. His on base percentage now over 440 is the 5th best in all of baseball. And there's a strike from Patrick. It's a full count, 3-2. Dealt more walks than strikeouts this year. He's always been a guy who strikes out at least twice as often as he walks, and he's reversing that trend this season. Called strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Corbin. 2 down in the 6th. Hey kids, if you're between the ages of 10 and 16 and you'd like to be part of the D-backs telecast, interview a player, go behind the scenes, come on out tomorrow for the Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions. Just go to the Sandlot near Baxter's Den from 11:30 to 1 and you may be selected to be a Sanderson Ford Kidcaster. Angel Pagan 0 for 2.
Patrick starting to get a feel for that slider now. Dropped one in there against Brandon Belt for a called strike 3 and jumps ahead in the count here to Angel Pagan with another slider.
Bell's high hop at shortstop. A 1-2-3-6 for Patrick Corbin. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-1. Going, middle of the order coming up against Jake Peavy. They've got only 2 hits so far. They trail it 3-1. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. The finale of the 4-game series tomorrow afternoon. Ruby De La Rosa on the mound for the Diamondbacks. The veteran Matt Cain 0-5 for the Giants. That is a 1:10 first pitch. Diamondback Live pregame show at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. Goldie 0 for 2 leads off the Diamondbacks 6th against Peavy. 0 for 10 in the series so far.
Yeah, the first 2 innings of this game, Jake Peavy really labored. He only gave up 1 run on a hit and a couple of walks, but it took him 47 pitches to get through those first 2. In innings 3, 4, and 5, a total of 31 pitches and only 1 hit allowed.
Second time through the order, Peavy retired 7 straight at one point. He has walked 2, he struck out 4, he's given up only 2 hits. Behind on Goldie, 2-0.
And keep in mind, this is a pitcher that leads the majors in ERA with at least 7 games started this season. Coming into play tonight, an 8.47 ERA for Jake Peavy.
Duffy in the hole at third. Goldie 0 for 3, 1 down. Set down 7 straight earlier in the ball game. And Drury had a single. Since then he's retired 6 in a row. 1 out for Weeks, who was struck out twice, 0 for 2. I'm a little concerned about Dennis Lamb. We sent him out to find Chewbacca. He was not able to do his usual modeling routine, so we had to upgrade that with Mike and Vanessa. But Dennis has not been heard from. Out looking for Chewbacca, and frankly, I'm a little concerned.
Chewbacca's a good guy, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so.
Unless they've turned him over to the dark side, which is always a possibility.
Was wondering about the possibility of foul play, but
now this, I'm told, is the search party. We've called in the heavy equipment and the heavy hitters to find Dennis Lamb. Princess Leia, there's Chewbacca, but no Dennis Lamb. Han Solo is there. Dennis is missing. We've lost Dennis. Fly ball center field. Span, back it up, and he won't get there. It reaches the wall. Ricky Weeks Jr. pulls into second. That's his 5th double. And just the 3rd hit for the Diamondbacks against Jake Peavy.
Another hanging breaking ball, this time up and out over the plate at 82 miles an hour. Ricky Weeks with those quick hands really drove that ball to straightaway center. Span was playing fairly deep out there for Ricky Weeks and could not catch up to it anyway.
All right, time to get things started here. Chris Herman has walked and scored a run and flied out. He's 0 for 1. Jumped on the first pitch from Peavy his last time up. Weeks at second, 1 out. Swings at the first pitch again. They have been very aggressive early in the count against Peavy tonight. It has not worked out so far. You look at Chris Herman, since that 1 for 20 start as a Diamondback, he's hit over his last 11 games, 375. 8 extra base hits. He's knocked in 14. One of the most productive Diamondback bats as of late, but down 0-1. Giants bullpen will start stirring with Peavy approaching 90 pitches. And he'll get busy out there with a right-hander Derek Law.
Speculation on my part, but because of the kind of season Jake Peavy has had, I think his skipper Bruce Bochy might be a little quicker on the trigger tonight to get him out of the ball game on a positive note.
It's been a struggle just to get him through 5 the way he's pitched lately. Mentioned had a start not too long ago against the Mets where he failed to retire a batter in the 3rd inning. So he has not gone very deep into games at all. And of course, with his history of injuries, that's rarely an option anyway. Back trouble, shoulder trouble, hip trouble. Herman battled him the first time they met. Full count, drew a walk. Putting up a good fight here. He's had arm, ankle, hip, rib injuries. Tore his tendon off his back and shoulder, right off the bone back in 09 when he was with the White Sox. 1-2 on Herman. But as you pointed out, the one thing that has not mellowed with age is Jake Peavy's intensity.
Not at all.
He is the ultimate competitor out there. Sort of a controlled anger or aggression on the mound. And he strikes out Herman. 5th strikeout for Peavy.
.4-mile-an-hour fastball. Nothing tricky about it. He needs max effort, but that's as much as he can get out of that arm at this stage of his career. I mentioned at the top of the show, he'll occasionally crack 90, maybe 91 with a wind at his back, but he's moving it around the edges of the zone, changing speeds. It's worked for him tonight.
Brandon Drury has twice smashed the ball hard to Matt Duffy at 3rd, once for an error and once for a base hit that went by him. So Duffy will have to be on his toes down there with Drury up for the 3rd time. He has 4 singles and a walk in the series, Brandon Drury, now at .301 on the year. Two and 0. Diamondbacks so far with only 3 hits. Peavy has walked 2 and struck out 5. In the air, right field corner. Hunter Pence scrambling over near the line, and he's got it in foul ground. As Peavy strands the 1-out double, he is through 6 with a 3-1 lead. Cox, Gigalife, high-speed highlights. Chris Owings, RBI double in the second. The only run of the game so far for the Diamondbacks. Hunter Pence, his 200th career home run, bounced off the top of the left field wall and over. That was a 2-run shot in the fourth, and that's been the difference in what is a 3-1 ball game. Our Gila River game summary. This has been the best start of the season for Jake Peavy, who has given up just 1 run on 3 hits through 6 innings. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Kelby Tomlinson starts the San Francisco 7th against Patrick Corbin. Tomlinson the start at shortstop tonight for Brandon Crawford. He's 1 for 2. Pitcher spot is due up next, and that's going to be it for Peavy. Connor Gillespie out there in the on-deck circle.
Kind of what we anticipated for Bruce Bochy. Anytime you have a pitcher that's been struggling, numbers aren't pretty, you get an opportunity to get him out of there with a chance to win the ball game, feel good about himself going into his next start. You got to pull that plug maybe a little bit earlier than you normally would, and it's never easy to pull the plug on Jake Peavy.
Well, they were thinking about pulling the plug on him in terms of a rotation spot. That was about as close to happening as it's been in a long time, and this will go a long way toward solidifying that spot as they took a look at Tim Lincecum lately and looking at some other options. Clayton Blackburn just called up, as Bob mentioned earlier. He was hanging on by a thread to a starting spot, and this will certainly help. Bounced over the mound. Here comes Ahmed. Tomlinson can really run, and he beat it out. The throw pulled Goldie off the bag, says Hunter Wendelstedt at first. And they have given Nick Ahmed an error on that play.
Mentioned earlier, Tomlinson really runs well. Goldie did just come off the bag. I'm not so sure they would have had him anyway.
Now batting pitcher Jake Peavy.
And Gillespie has been recalled now because Peavy can go up there and bunt, so he'll take the at bat.
We'll keep an eye on that Giants bullpen after an out. If they get a pitcher back up throwing again, that means that Jake Peavy's just up there to put down the sac bunt, and then we'll come out of the ball game anyway. Bruce Bochy operating with a 4-man bench, just like Chip Hale, carrying that extra pitcher in the bullpen.
Well, they had been going with a deeper bench. They had the outfielder Jared Parker up with them. He was sent down just before the start of Thursday's game. Garrett Law had been throwing earlier, the right-hander. Zach Curtis, the lefty, is throwing in the Diamondback bullpen, with Patrick Corbin now over 90 pitches. Jake Lamb crashes from third, Goldie in from first. So 0-2 on Peavy. There's Zach Curtis, the left-hander, Evan Marshall, the right-hander, Sanderson Ford bullpen. Garvin Alston, the bullpen coach, standing by the phone, waving his cap, so they're ready out there.
That's the universal sign.
You got the lefty Span and the lefty Panic coming up after Peavy, who will stroll over there and have a conversation with Roberto Kelly, the third base coach. Patrick has done a good job settling down since the Pence homer. The Giants have only 2 hits, both singles. That's called strike 3. 4th strikeout for Corbin. 1 down in the 7th. Peavy trying to give himself up, but he strikes out. And here comes Chip Hale. You've got 2 lefties coming up. Zach Curtis is ready in the Diamondback bullpen. And so it looks like this will be it for Corbin.
Especially given the fact that Denard Span has faced him 3 times, has 3 base hits, including a triple. Time to give him a different look.
1 lefty exits, another one coming in. Back after this. Greater coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. A look around the rest of the National League West. Padres leading the Brewers at Miller Park right now, 6-3 in the 7th inning. Rockies ahead of the Mets, 7-2 in the 5th at Coors. And they are scoreless in the 4th at Dodger Stadium. The Cardinals and those boys in blue. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks. Your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. It's the rookie lefty Zach Curtis, brought all the way up from Class A Visalia. And Zach, through his first 5 career big league appearances, has worked scoreless baseball and given up only 1 hit. He worked a 1-2-3 7th inning last night on just 10 pitches.
Got a couple of pop-ups and a line out. Very efficient in his outing last night.
Well, now he's in there with 1 out. Tomlinson at first. They'll keep him close. And the batter is Denard Span, who so far is 3 for 3. 2 singles and a triple. He has scored a run. And Span has been a problem. He's already got 7 hits in the series. He's got another one. Pelts that one into right. Denard Span 4 for 4. Joe Panic now. Curtis, when he worked last night's game, faced the bottom of the order. He got Crawford, the pitcher Samardzija, and then Angel Pagan up there against the top of the order this time. First and second, 1 away for Panic, who drove in the game's first run with an RBI single in the first. He has hit into 2 double plays, and Zach could really use that right here. Patrick Corbin, 3 runs, 8 hits, 6 1/3. That runner at second, Tomlinson, reached on an error by Nick Ahmed. Patrick, the only hit that really hurt him was the PENCE homer, which skipped off the very top of the wall in left field and went over for a home run.
Right after the roof was opened.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying anything.
Well, you're right about that. As soon as they opened up the roof for the start of the 4th inning, it was a Posey single and a PENCE homer. Hop, skip, and a jump, 3-1. This is a fly ball in the air. Left center, Ricky Weeks Jr. out there. 2 down. Matt Duffy now. Did that bother you as the skipper when they opened things up midway through the game at some point?
No, I mean, it plays the same for both teams. You still have to execute good pitches to get big league hitters out, and you still have to put good swings on good pitches to do something offensively. You know, as long as it was the same for both teams, I didn't mind.
Well, now you've got the right-hand hitting Duffy coming up. Posey, Pence behind him, so they'll go to the right-hander, and it's a double switch. For Chip Hale, Brandon Drury will come out, and Yasmani Tomas will take over in right field. And Evan Marshall is coming in. 2 outs, top 7. A double switch for Chip Hale. Yasmani Tomas takes over in right field, replacing Brandon Drury. And the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks, the right-hander Evan Marshall, 7 big league appearances this year. 5 of them have been scoreless. He worked a 1-2-3 inning Thursday against the Giants, and his second appearance with the Diamondbacks since his recall from AAA Reno. 2 outs. Tomlinson is at second and Span at first. Tomas will bat 9th in the Diamondback order. Pitcher spot now 6th for Arizona. And Duffy walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. A pair of hits in the series, both singles. Evan Marshall's been part of that Reno reliever shuttle, back and forth.
Speaking of that Reno shuttle, the Diamondbacks have extended their contract with AAA Reno, the Pacific Coast League, for 2 more years.
They've done a great job. They do a terrific job over there, the Reno Aces. Phil Nevin, the manager. Peter O'Brien's tearing up the Coast League for Reno. Gil Heredia, the pitching coach. Greg Gross, the hitting coach. A 2-1 to Duffy, misses inside. It's 3 balls and a strike. Buster Posey on deck. There go the runners on a bunt right to Ahmed. The underhand toss for the force on Span, and that's the inning. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs trail the Giants 3-1. Roof open at Chase Field. Diamondbacks could manage only 1 run on 3 hits against Jake Peavy, the veteran starter, but now they'll face the rookie reliever. It's the right-hander Derek Long, who has pitched scoreless baseball in 10 of his 12 appearances as a major leaguer, a 2.38 ERA.
a similar arsenal to their closer, Santiago Casilla. Throws a fastball in the low to mid 90s. Also throws a curve and a slider.
Chris Owings, Nick Ahmed, and Yasmani Tomas due up in the Arizona 7th, 7-8-9. Just so far, a run on 3 hits. It was Co's RBI double in the second that has delivered the Diamondbacks' only run. And he looks at strike 1 from Law. Chris has hit safely now in 7 straight games, 8 of his last 9. He's got another base hit. He dunks it into right center. Leadoff man aboard. Boy, he is swinging the bat well right now.
Really identifying those pitches up and out over the plate and staying on that ball and driving it to the opposite field. It's a breaking ball from Law that just hangs out there over the plate. CO might have caught it off the end of the bat just a little bit, but a great approach to drive it to right field.
Just the 4th hit for the Diamondbacks, and here's Nick Ahmed, who has struck out twice. This is out to Hunter Pence, backing up in right field near the warning track. 1 away. That'll bring up for the first time tonight Yasmani Tomas. 297 and 5 homers for El Tanque. Came into the series riding a 6-game hitting streak, but he's 0 for 8 in the first 2 games. See if he can swing that lightsaber here on Star Wars night. That is not a good look.
Now we know Tomas is a hyper aggressive first ball hacker, but this is a guy he's never seen before.
I have a feeling that won't stop him.
I don't think so either, but I would like to see him look at a few pitches.
Nope. Base hit. Owings will take the turn and head for third. He is in there. Well, it's working for Big Yasmani. They're on the corners with 1 out.
Whatever it takes. And my theory being, you know, you're going to see the Giants a bunch more times this year. You may have at bats against Derek Law with the game on the line. But base hit into right field to put runners on the corner is a good thing, too.
Gene Segura coming up. Segura with an 11-game hitting streak, but so far 0 for 3. He's got Owings at third, Tomas at first, and 1 out. Bounced over the mound. Panic. Yes, no. Owings comes in from third. He missed the tag, but the second base umpire, Gabe Morales, signaled that he jumped out of the baseline. In the meantime, that took long enough for Segura to get to first base. Let's see, does he tag him or not here?
He got him on the shirt, and Tomas went out of the baseline, so either way he was going to be out right there. And props to Gene Segura for busting it down that first baseline. If he can beat that throw to the bag, a run scores.
Here comes Bruce Bochy. We've got the left-hand hitting Jake Lamb coming up, and the left-hander Josh Osich is on his way in. Law exits. It's a 3-2 ball game.
that fielder's choice ground out by Gene Segura. It's 3-2 Giants right now. Jake Lamb will face the new left-hander Josh Osich. But in the meantime, fans, a Diamondbacks home run tonight means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Ready for round 3 here. The battle of left-handers. Josh Osich, the Giants reliever, and Jake Lamb, the Diamondback hitter. Lamb faced this guy Thursday in the opener and drew a base on balls. Faced him last night, grounded out. So round 3 with 2 outs in the 7th and a run in. Segura the runner at first. Jake hitting better than .390 against San Francisco this year. That includes 7 extra base hits. In there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Lamb walked in the first, twice grounded out against Peavy.
I think this is absolutely a stolen base potential situation right here, depending on how Gene Segura feels. Remember, he missed some time with a sore hip about a week ago.
5 for 8 in his stolen base attempts this year as Lamb looks at strike 2. So Jake in an 0-2 hole against the lefty here. He's faced a lot of lefties lately. On Thursday in the opener, you'll remember the Diamondbacks had a big threat. Bases full in the 9th inning, 2 outs, and Javier Lopez came in and got Lamb to ground out. 1-2 pitch. A fair ball, and that's the end of the inning. But the Diamondbacks get 1. Will go to the 8th. It's a 3-2 Giants lead. Star Wars night here at the ballpark. Cricket Wireless. Never did find Chewbacca. We did find Dennis Lamb.
That's good.
And we're set for the 8th inning. Evan Marshall's still out there. Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Brandon Bell, 4, 5, and 6 for the Giants, who lead at 3-2.
Nice Nice crowd here at the ballpark on a Saturday night. Roof open. Beautiful evening for a ball game. There's 4,000 Little Leaguers here tonight from all over the state. Bullhead City, Casa Grande, Douglas, Kingman, Payson, Round Valley, Guadalupe. Glad to have them all with us here tonight.
This is out to left center field. Long run for Chris Owings. Boy, he can really cover those gaps. One down in the 8th. Posey 1 for 4. Hunter Pence. His hit so far has been the difference. Watch it hit off the top of the fence and left and just scored over off Patrick Corbin in the 4th. That was his 6th of the year and the 200th home run of Hunter Pence's career. His 4th home run against Corbin.
What a crazy game. If that ball carries 1 inch less, it hits and comes back onto the field of play. Measured it perfectly.
Went down and got it somehow. Had enough on it to get it out. Pence has had a hot bat lately. Previous 20 games, he's hit about 340, knocked in 16 runs. 1 for 3 tonight with a homer.
We'll talk about the evolution of a player. I remember when Hunter Pence first came to the big leagues back in '07. He's listed in the Giants media guide at 6'4", 220. He was probably 6'4", 160 when he played for the Astros. He was just a blade.
He is all muscle now. Waves at that one. 2-2. Hits the ball as hard in batting practice as anybody on this planet. Full count, 3-2. Brandon Belt on deck. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th will have 3, 4, and 5. Goldie, Weeks Jr., and Herman. Pitcher spot now 6th. Missed away, a 1-out walk. And now Evan will work to the left-hand hitting Brandon Belt, who singled in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. A little more of a shift for the Diamondbacks than we've seen against some of their other left-hand hitters right now. You can see Nick Ahmed all by himself at shortstop. Jake Lamb right behind second base umpire Gabe Morales. Goldie holding Pence on the bag at first. Brandon Belt, top 5 in all of baseball in on-base percentage. He will not get himself out up there. He rolls one foul right in front of Roberto Kelly. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Gonna need a new stick. Series finale tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show at 12:30. First pitch 110. Ruby De La Rosa. Can he follow up his remarkable performance at Coors Field against the Rockies? Matt Cain starts for the Giants. He is winless this year, 0-5.
I sure hope Ruby does, just so the fans here at Chase Field can see what we saw in Coors Field. That was just a tremendous performance in that ballpark against that lineup.
Absolutely dominated. That slider was tremendous. 1-2
at a ballpark where sliders don't normally break very much.
And then the Yankees come in for 3 starting on Monday. dbacks.com/tickets. A lot of ceremonies on the field Monday. You'll be down there, I understand, with Joe Torre.
Yeah, he'll take part in the first pitch ceremony. He's going to get to catch one of the first pitches.
Brandon Belt strikes out. 2 down. Good pitch by Evan right there.
Hard slider. You see that rotation. A true slider has rotation almost like a football. It's more of a spiral than anything else. Hitters talk about seeing the dot. If you just hold a baseball in 2 fingers and spin it around, you'll see how the red seams give the illusion of a dot in the middle of the baseball.
Pagan 0 for 3. Now batting from the left-hand side against the righty Evan Marshall. And that's in there for a strike. 0-1. I don't see a dot. That's the spin first. Fastball missed inside. A ball and a strike on Angel Pagan. Back from a hamstring injury that kept him out for 11 games. Walked, singled, scored a run last night. 0 for 3 so far tonight. Right to Segura at second. Evan Marshall works around the 1-out walk. It'll be Goldie, Weeks, and Herman in the Diamondback 8th.
Brandon Webb promised me this coming up on Diamondbacks Live, the postgame show. No matter what happens the rest of the way, will you please explain to me and show us how Jake Peavy did what he did? Please.
Yes, we're going to take a look at Peavy's night.
Okay.
Not the Peavy of old, but a little craftier. So we'll take a peek at what he did tonight, how he's able to get through 6 innings.
Maybe the biggest start of his tail end of his
I think
career.
so.
All right, that's all coming up after the game. Lots of baseball left, so let's get back to that. And to the booth, Steve and Bob, take it away.
Well, guys, we're very excited here to introduce a guest on this Star Wars night. It's Bob Brenly's favorite Star Wars character, Chewbacca, is here with us. Chewie, how are you? It's like it was scripted.
That's the same way you were yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the ball game here tonight? Yep. I know you're a busy Wookiee, so boy, it's hot in this thing, isn't it? Thanks for stopping by. He's got Han Solo. The whole gang is here. Dennis Lamb really came through. Hunter Strickland, the new pitcher for the Giants, as Goldie leads off the Arizona 8th. We got Han Solo, Chewie, Anakin, Luke is here.
You have no idea how many points you're scoring for me with my granddaughter. She's a big Chewie fan. Big Chewie fan. Nice going. Appreciate it.
Who isn't really? I thought you and Han argued all the time. You seem to be getting along pretty well. Numbers on Hunter Strickland, the right-hander. He has pitched scoreless baseball in each of his last 6 appearances. Where's the next gig? They're all over the galaxy.
Playing far, far away, I'm sure.
There you go. See? 2-1 pitch. They get a shot of the whole gang in here. Look at this. Crowded in here. Two balls, 2 strikes. Star Wars night here at Chase Field. Big crowd. More than 32,000. Up the middle, a base hit for Goldie. Chewie, you brought us some good luck. Here's the tying run.
Ball out over the plate. This little top spin grounder finds the hole back up the middle of the field.
There's Chewie's reaction. Ricky Weeks Jr. doubled the deep center field his last time up. Tying run at first base. Nobody out. .96 right by him, 0-1. Well, it took Dennis Lamb 7 innings, but he came through big time.
Chewie's a big dude.
He is. He's a big Wookiee.
Wow.
There's Dennis.
Nice going, Dennis. Thank you very much.
All over the galaxy looking for those guys. The latest episode of the Dennis Lamb Show. 1-1 on Ricky Weeks Jr. Diamondbacks have been out, hit 9-6. They trail it 3-2. They got 1 in the 7th. And looking at least tie it up here in the 8th. In there for a strike. 1-2.
Ricky Weeks has had a number of borderline pitches go against him in this ball game. Another tailing fastball well off the plate. He was called out on a similar pitch to end the 3rd inning.
Jerry Lane, the crew chief, back there tonight. Got him. 1 down. Ricky Weeks strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. That'll bring up Chris Herman.
Pretty good slider down on that outside corner, especially after that sinker 6 inches off the inside corner was called a strike on the pitch before. Tough to cover both sides like that.
Chris Herman has walked and scored a run. He's flied out, struck out 0 for 2. Pitcher spot is due up next for the Diamondbacks. Phil Gosselin in the on-deck circle. Herman, base hit, it rolls into right center. Goldie will head for 3rd. The Babe comes through again.
Couple of hard hit ground balls that have found holes in that Giants defense. Middle of the plate fastball for Herman, and he bangs it right past Joe Panik on into center field. Goldie had a great jump over there at first and easily goes from one corner to the other.
Diamondback threat, bottom 8. And Phil Gosselin will hit pitcher spot 6th after the double switch for the Diamondbacks, and Phil in there at 280 with a homer. And 7 for 19 as a pinch hitter this year. That's a .368 average. Goldie is at 3rd. He's the tying run. Chris Herman at 1st. He's the go-ahead run. 1 out.
Really good pinch hitting numbers for Phil Gosselin. I think that's somewhat of a byproduct of the fact that Chip Hale has gotten him in there from time to time, gotten him a start, get 4 or 5 at bats in one day.
.95 is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1 on Gosselin. Goldie's at 3rd. Here he comes. The throw from PENCE is in there. We're tied.
Enough. Hunter Pence, even though he has a very awkward throwing motion, has a pretty good arm. Goldie just outran that throw to the plate right there. No hesitation, never looks back to see where the ball is. Just get to that plate as quickly as you can.
That's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Phil Gosselin delivers the tying run, and the hottest hitter for the Diamondbacks is in there right now. It's Chris Owings. CO 3 hits last night. Tonight an RBI double. He singled his last time up, 2 for 3.
Finally, this crowd of 32,000 plus has a reason to make some noise here tonight.
Chris Herman, the runner at 1st, 2 down. Missed upstairs at 97, 1-0 on Owings. First time in 7 outings that Hunter Strickland has given up a run. .98 right by him, 1-1. D-backs bullpen is busy. Daniel Hudson and Brad Ziegler. That has stopped throwing for the moment. Out of play, a ball and 2 strikes on Chris Owings. Chappelle's been waiting patiently all night, and finally, near the end of the ball game, some signs of life from his offense. One and 2. In there for strike 3. But a Goldie leadoff single and a Gosselin sac fly have tied it up as we head to the 9th at Chase Field. And Giants as we start the 9th inning here at Chase Field, and the newly designed D-backs license plate now available. For only $25 you can display your D-backs pride everywhere you drive. $17 from each plate benefits the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, and over $1 million has already been donated to support education across Arizona. For more information, visit dbacks.com/license plate.
You can personalize them.
The governor.
Governor.
You got a regular art class going on over there. New pitcher for the D-backs is the right-hander Daniel Hudson. 15 appearances this season, all but one of them has been scoreless. Gonzo, sure.
Yeah. Get creative with your license plate.
He has given up only 1 run on 5 hits all season. He has not allowed a base hit to a right-hand hitter. Righty's 0 for 26 against him. And so Kelby Tomlinson will be recalled, and Brandon Crawford will lead off the 9th. He'll hit for Tomlinson. Crawford did not start the ball game against the lefty Patrick Corbin. Crawford 250 and 4 homers. He is 1 for 8 in the series, a double last night. Two. Well, fly ball out to left field. Ricky Weeks Jr. one away. Now with a pitcher spot up for the Giants, 1 out in the 9th. We'll get a look at Connor Gillespie. 278 with a home run, called up from the minor leagues near the end of April, and only 18 at bats on the year.
9 of his 18 at bats have come as a pinch hitter. He's 3 for 9 off Bruce Bochy's bench.
Mike Butcher wants a word.
Wonder what's that conversation like there. Usually it's a scouting report on a pinch hitter. We've seen that happen a lot the last couple of years in Major League Baseball. The pitching coach goes out there to review the hitter at the plate, but it's always positive. You can throw him fastballs here. If you get ahead in the count, you can throw a breaking ball in the dirt and he'll chase it. Give them positive things that they can do to get this guy out, rather than say, don't throw him a first pitch fastball. That creates a negative image in the pitcher's mind.
Out of play, and it's 1-1.
Obviously, haven't seen a lot of the last beat, but the Diamondbacks playing him to hit to the opposite field in the outfield. Chris Owings shaded several steps over toward that gap in left center field.
Drives it to right center. Good job by CO over there to cut it off, and it's a 1-out single for Gillespie.
Boy, there was speed on display right there. I just mentioned that Chris Owings was shading him into the left center field gap. That ball headed back toward the right center field gap, but he got such a good jump, and with that tremendous speed, able to outrun the ball and get it back in and hold him to a single.
Well, here's the guy that's been a real problem so far. Denard Span, 4 for 4. He tripled and scored in the first. He has singled 3 times. He's got 8 hits in the series. So he is 6 for his last 6 going back to last night. That ties a career high. Singled in his last 2 at bats last night. He's down 0-1. Got him in the knee somewhere, it looked like.
Hangs onto that fastball a little too long. Just below the left knee on the shin bone right there.
Well, that'll bring up Joe Panik, who has homered in the first 2 games of this series. He drove in the first run tonight with an RBI single, and he's 1 for 4. Gillespie at second, Span at first, 1 out. Ball 1.
Panik has bounced into 2 double plays in the ball game tonight. He'd only done it 3 times all season coming into play tonight. If he can equal his season total here in one game.
Two and one. Panik came into the game tonight about a .390 hitter here at Chase Field. Ten RBIs in 16 games in this ballpark. But he missed. He's behind 3-1. Matt Duffy on deck. But he has not allowed a base hit to a right-hand hitter all year. He's got one coming up after Panik. He lost him. The bases are full of Giants with one out. A single, a hit batter, and a walk bring Duffy up there. Gillespie is at third. Span at second. Joe Panik at first. Duffy walked in the fifth. He is 0 for 3.
And leads the Giants in bouncing into 7 double plays on the season. I'm playing that double play card as hard as I can.
So this is what you're looking for right here. He hit into a double play last night against Shelby Miller. Chris Herman wants to talk it over. Bullpen quiet for the Diamondbacks. Ten straight scoreless appearances for Daniel Hudson, but he's in a bases loaded one-out mess. Ball one.
Well, it's a good location. It might be out of the strike zone down, but that's where you want to be if you're looking for a ground ball possible double play. 96-mile-an-hour heater down there at the bottom of the knees.
Duffy last year hit into 22 double plays. That put him top 10 in the major leagues. There's a little squid shot. Goldie coming home. They get one. Not the double play, but it'll work.
Well, not surprisingly, Goldie makes the right choice. That ball wasn't hit hard enough to turn 2. Just an absolute jam shot on Matt Duffy right there. And if you can't turn 2 and you've got enough time, at least cut that run off at home plate.
So now it's bases loaded. 2 outs. Buster Posey singled and scored in the 4th. 1 for 4. Fielder's choice, 3-2 on the putout. Ball one. Posey has not been hitting the ball all that well lately. Right now 4 for his last 36 up there. Hold foul.
Well, Buster shaking his head there. The fans got a little excited on the first base side wearing orange, but when you're that far out in front of a 97-mile-an-hour heater, something wrong. He's just a little too quick on the trigger that time.
Fly ball, right center. Chris Owens on the run. He's not going to get there. And one hops the wall, and that'll score two.
That's the logical sequence of pitches. If a guy is that far out in front of a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, you're probably going to screw him into the ground with a straight changeup. But Buster Posey stays on it and finds that gap in right center field.
First base hit against a right-hander given up by Daniel Hudson all year, and it's 5-3 Giants now. And Hunter Pence, who homered in the fourth, steps in. Still some work to do here. Second and third, 2 outs. Diamondbacks in the ninth will have Ahmed SEGURA up 8-9-1. One and two. It's been Pence and Posey tonight. Pence the 2-run homer in the fourth. Posey the 2-run double in the ninth. Just foul.
One of those awkward Hunter Pence swings. Just foul down that first base line. Nice play.
Rapid Robert Balderrama down there. Perfectly positioned off the carom. 1 and 2 on Hunter Pence.
Pence is a perfect example of how there is more than one way to get the job done. You think of some of the beautiful, perfect swings you've seen in the game of baseball. Stan Musial, old teammate of mine, Will Clark, Carlos Gonzalez in Colorado. Beautiful swing. Hunter Pence looks like he's swatting wasps up there sometimes, but he gets the barrel of the bat on the ball and gets the job done more often than not.
Not in this case. He strikes out. But the Giants get 2. Bottom 9 on the way. Diamondbacks down 5-3. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 5-3. Looking for some magic. They've been coming back all night here. They got one in the 7th to pull within one in the 8th to tie it up, but the Giants have scored twice in the top of the 9th on the Buster Posey 2-run double, so still some work to do here against the new pitcher for the Giants, the right-hander Corey Garrett. We saw him Thursday in the series opener. He worked a 1-2-3-8. He got Castillo, Tomas, and Owings. AHMED, Tomas, SEGURA due up in the Arizona 9th. To Duffy on the grass at third. 1 pitch, 1 out. AHMED 0 for 4. Here's Tomas, who singled after he was double switched into the ball game. His second at bat tonight.
No Santiago Casilla tonight for Bruce Bochy, at least not yet. He's pitched 3 days in a row, 21 pitches on Wednesday, 17 on Thursday, and 12 more last night. So Guerin, the guy that's getting an opportunity to close one out for the Giants here. So far this season, 1 for 5 in save opportunities. Opponents hitting .571 in situations where Guerin has come into the ball game with an opportunity to pick up a save. I'm sorry, career.
Yeah, Guerin's been a little shaky lately. Opponents hitting .320 against him in his last 7 appearances. One and one on Tomas. Drive this out to left field, a base hit. Diamondbacks will get the tying run to the plate with 1 out. Tomas tonight 2 for 2.
Didn't come into the ball game until the 7th inning as part of a double switch, and 2 for 2.
Well, there's Gene Segura, who's got an 11-game hitting streak on the line. 0 for 4 so far. Does have an RBI on a fielder's choices last time up. Strike 1. In front of the plate, Posey spins and throws. 2 outs. Well, there was a game in San Francisco last month when the Diamondbacks were down to their last strike against these Giants, and Jake Lamb came up with a big home run. It looked a little something like this. That was off Santiago Casilla. Jake is up there in the bottom of the 9th here as the tying run at the plate and 2 outs. He walked his first time up 0 for 3.
Surprised Javier Lopez isn't in this ball game right now.
Yeah, because this is the only lefty. You got a whole bunch of, well, you got Herman coming up 2 batters after Goldie and Weeks. Carves that one the other way. Pagan near the line, and it drops in foul ground. Lamb He's still alive. It's 0-2.
Just given Bruce Bochy's history of playing matchups late in a ball game, and the fact he brought in Lopez in relief of his closer the other night to get out Jake Lamb.
Unless he thinks he needs to save him for Herman, but then he'd probably bring Castillo up anyway.
Lopez did not pitch in the ball game last night.
He got the save in the opener on Thursday when he retired Lamb. Got him to ground out with the bases loaded in the 9th. But he's sticking with Garrett, who's ahead 0-2. He did not go. Trick Gibson at third. Well, he hit a ball in foul ground that dropped in, kept the at-bat alive. He checked his swing to keep the at-bat alive. And he strikes out to end the ball game. The Giants have taken the first 3 in this 4-game series. And the D-backs are now 5-14 on their home field this year. And they'll look to Ruby De La Rosa tomorrow afternoon to avoid a 4-game sweep.
Come on, Ruby. Hopefully he's been throwing the ball really well lately. Giants looking to return the favor for what the Diamondbacks did to them at AT&T Park earlier this year. Can't let it happen.
Jake Peavy turned in a terrific start, his best of the year so far. Hunter Pence a 2-run homer in the 4th. Buster Posey a 2-run double in the 9th is the difference, as the Giants take this one 5-3. Diamondback Live post-game show will break it down. Brandon Webb standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. We will get underway in just a matter of moments. But Brandon, first off, this one will sting. They were setting themselves up again.
Again, I mean, this is 3 games in a row. They give themselves an opportunity down early, come back tonight, tie it up late in the game, and just couldn't get it done late in the game.
All right, we have lots to get to, so let's take a break and come back here to Chase Field early on this Saturday night. The Diamondbacks fall in Game 3. They lose this series. When we return, Bob Brenly will join us. J.R. Cardenas will be down inside the Arizona Diamondbacks clubhouse. We'll hear from the skipper, Chip Hale, as well. 5-3 the final. Lots to talk about. Diamondbacks pitching, certainly, and also their hitting. Early opportunities to maybe get on the board and break it open and get to Jake Peavy. They did not. We'll also talk about Jake Peavy's night. How did he get this done? All of that when we come back to Diamondbacks Live.